Are you the person that decided to make a non-shine class and now you're debating every single life decision and every single class decision that you've ever made, and you're getting now extreme FOMO and you literally just want to delete your class and remake a brand new Challenger World 3 class, but you can't because Nexon doesn't let you remake your Challenger World 3 class, and you're FOMOing out to the max and you literally just want to quit your character? If that's you, all good. Don't worry, you can always create the brand new Earl class at any given time in the year, or you can create it for the next Challenger World 4 event. And in this video, I'm going to try my best to prepare you for everything that you will need to know when you play the best class that has ever been made by Team GMS. Now, Earl is the brand new Shine class, as most of you guys know, and let me tell you, this is probably the best class that GMS has ever released to date. This is a very easy and fun class to play, and it's been a ton of fun progressing this class along the way, and I feel confident now after playing this class for the last 3 weeks to make an entire breakdown guide of essentially how this class works, the functionality of this class, if you should play it, and pretty much all of the above. So if you're somebody who is potentially looking to make an Earl in the near future for a second main, a boss mule, I hope this video helps you guys out. And if this video does help you guys out, leave a like on the video and let us know what you guys think of the Shine class in the comments down below. But with that being said, let's get right into the video and go over everything that you need to know about Earl, the best class to ever be released by Team GMS. So first things first, let's get into the difficulty of this class. Earl is a relatively easy class to play, and I would argue it's maybe even one of the easiest classes in the entire game to play, which is crazy because of how strong this class really is. So if you're somebody who wants an extremely easy class to play, Earl is definitely going to be that class for you. It's also going to make a very easy boss mule because there's not a lot of things that you need to learn on this class to get most of your damage efficiency off. It's not a class like Cadena or Blaster or Evan where you're pretty much sweating your ass off the entire time to get out a fraction of the damage that Earl is going to put out. So if I were to rate how this class's difficulty is, I would rate it somewhere along the lines of classes like Hero, Night Lord, Bowmaster. All these classes share a lot of the same things in common, but the one thing that Earl does better than almost every other class in the game is the damage output itself. So let's talk about the actual damage distribution on this class. Well, it's kind of a difficult decision to make, and it really comes down to which boss you're in and how good your damage efficiency is in that boss. But when you actually break it down, Earl is pretty much a hybrid class. It's almost like a 50% burst and 50% DPM class, and in some bosses it's even going to be 60% burst and 40% DPM, which is actually really nice. You feel rewarded for the gameplay outside of your burst, unlike other non-KMS classes like Kana and Hayato. Kana and Hayato are very burst dependent, and outside of your burst you're pretty much just like a wet noodle, not doing much outside of that 15-second window. And that's one of the reasons why I like Earl so much, is because you're actually getting rewarded for that damage outside of the burst. The burst is very good, but don't get me wrong, the DPM itself is nothing to look past. So if you are somebody who likes those hybrid classes that are doing a lot of damage the entire time and it doesn't feel like your potential is getting wasted outside of burst, Earl is definitely going to be a class that you're going to enjoy a ton. So now that we've gone over the actual difficulty of the class and what sort of damage distribution this class does hold, let's go over Earl itself and the functionality of the skills and pretty much what they do on the Earl class. So like I said earlier, Earl is relatively a pretty easy class to play. There's not a lot of difficulty to this class, and there's not a lot of things going on. The main skill that you're going to be using is going to be Shine of Love. This is going to be your Mastery 1 skill, and this is pretty much going to be the skill that you're using practically the entire time while bossing. It's going to be your main DPM skill. But on top of this main DPM skill, you're also going to have two skills that you weave in, and those are going to be Sting of Roan and Fury of Roan. Now, the way that these skills work are a little bit weird. It's kind of different from any other class, but the way that they work is very, very simple. Essentially, what you want to do is, while your animation is going on, your M1, you want to press both of those skills at the exact same time, and that's going to proc this 30% shield that will last for 10 seconds. The really nice thing with Earl, though, is that you can hold down that M1 skill the entire time while you're in a boss. So when I press these two skills together, Sting of Roan and Fury of Roan, I actually don't need to take my finger off of the keyboard, which is really, really nice. You can continuously keep up DPM, and again, it makes it easier and easier for newer players or players that just aren't as good at the game to get the damage out properly on this class. There's not really any weaving like there is on Shadower on this class. It's very, very simple. You're just pressing them at the exact same time. And then the other skill that we're going to talk about is going to be the main burst skill, and that is going to be Eternal Guardian. Eternal Guardian is going to be a 5th job skill, and this is essentially your big burst skill. So the way that it works is you're going to proc it, and then it's going to turn your entire map blue, and then you want to get a certain amount of hits off on the boss before this skill will actually proc. And then we'll move into the next skill, which is going to be Destruction of Roan, which is also going to work with Eternal Guardian. Destruction of Roan is going to be pretty much your main burst skill that will proc Eternal Guardian, and the way that this works is essentially it's going to just be a key hold down for 1.5 seconds. So what it's going to look like is you're just press and hold down that button. It's going to put you in animation for 1.5 seconds. It's very quick, and then that will proc that Eternal Guardian skill. And we'll get into the overall burst rotation and how that all works in a little bit. Right now, we're just going over the skills. And then the next relevant skill on this class is going to be your 60-second mini that will also be a part of your main burst. And that is going to be Impulse of Kolan. This is going to be in your hyper skills. And pretty much this is just a one quick attack that you'll use on your burst, and you'll also use with your 60-second skills. It's very easy. All you do is press it, and that's pretty much it. There's no difficulty to it. There's no skill diff to it. It's just one button, and that's all it is. And then following that skill is going to be your iframe, which is going to be Shield of Kolan. Now, this is actually a very good skill because it pretty much just gives you a Jenny iframe right off the rip. It is going to be a 10-second iframe that will have a cooldown of 2 minutes. So you pretty much get 2 Genesis iframes on this class, which is very, very nice, especially for practical bossing. It pretty much allows you to get your entire burst off every single time. And these are the main skills that you have to worry about when bossing. It's going to be Sting of Roan / Sting of Fury, Eternal Guardian, Destruction of Roan, Spear of La, Impulse of Kolan, and Shield of Kolan. There's not really a lot of difficulty to this class. Those are just the main skills that you're going to be using. So while we're here talking about bossing, let's go over the actual burst rotation, and let's go over the actual sequence. So I'm going to show you guys the sequence first, and this is how you want to have your sequence set up. You're going to want to have it with your Roar going first, your Goddess second, Tree of Stars third, Impenetrable Skin fourth, Sentinel Rise fifth, Eternal Guardian as your 6th skill, Piercing Kolan as your 7th, 100 Pole as your 8th, and then you're going to have your Saren and your Will skills at the very end. And then pretty much just showing how a burst cycle would go. You're going to be DPMing the boss. You're going to use your sequence. You're going to use the Sting of Roan and Fury of Roan at the exact same time. Your 60-second skill, and then you're going to hold down that key down, and then that will proc that Eternal Guardian, and then you'll continue attacking. The burst is very, very quick. It's like a 3-second burst on Earl, which is very, very nice for damage efficiency if you do it properly. If you don't use these two skills together, or you accidentally don't hold your key down the entire 1.5 seconds, that Eternal Guardian isn't going to proc instantly like it will if you use the Sting of Roan and Sting of Fury first and then your key down. So again, the burst is super, super simple. And then for the minis, all it's going to be is Piercing of Kolan, Sentinel Rise, and 100 pull along with whatever ring that you have. And essentially all you'll do for that is pop your sequence, and then you're going to just use impulse of coin, and that's pretty much all your minis are, followed by the continuation of your regular DPM. It's a very, very easy class that has a very high damage efficiency while bossing. And then one tip as well, when you are bossing on this class, make sure that you always use your iframe first, then you bind the boss, and then you do your sequence. This is going to ultimately grant you a 100% success rate to always land your burst properly, and you're never going to get caught up greeting on this class. It's very, very important that you don't get kicked out of roar or get interrupted during your key down. So make sure you always use that iframe before the burst. That's what it's there for. You don't need to greet it for other reasons. Always use it before you burst. So now that we've talked about the bossing and the burst setup and the skills that are tied along with it, let's go over the mobbing on this class. Since mobbing is something that is very important to a lot of people, and they do want to make sure that their class has good mobbing. So I would say that this class has one of the better mobbing abilities in the game. I know that most classes have S tier farming now because of Janus, but not everyone in the game is always going to go 30 Janus right off the rip, and they're probably not going to have 3 Janus balls. But this class, on the other hand, has a very good summon, and that summon is going to be Spear of Light. This summon is going to hit 6 mobs at a time, and this summon will also proc your Janus. As you guys can see right now, I'm not attacking, and it is procking my Janus as I'm sitting here AFK, which is actually really, really nice. If you're pretty funded and you're one-shotting a lot of mobs, you can pretty much AFK farm on this class until you need to replace your summon and replace your Janus balls. Now, the other thing that's really good about this class's farming is the Mastery 1 enhancement that actually comes with this class. So if you look at the top of my buff bar up here, you'll see that I get a stack every single time I use Spear of La. And on the 8th stack, you're going to get a Giga Spear that will attack that has a massive hitbox. And this hitbox can hit mobs well above your character's placement, which makes mobbing a lot easier and allows you to go into a lot bigger maps that you might not have been able to go into otherwise. So if I were to actually rate the mobbing, I would say it's pretty top tier. It's probably around the same tier as Night Lord or pretty much any other class in the game that has its own self summon. But again, the M1 extra proc adds a lot of versatility and a lot of variance to your farming that allows you to go to pretty much whatever map that you want to. So finishing up with mobbing, let's move into the movement portion of this class. So when this class first came out in the PTS, I was actually really nervous about what I was seeing. The flash jump was really bad, the up jump looked terrible, and the dash just looked really clunky. But now after playing this class and it coming to live server, this class actually has very good movement. So this class, first of all, has a double flash jump. I think it's actually one of the only warrior classes in the game that has a double flash jump, and it actually feels really nice. It's very responsive. In the test server, it was a little bit delayed and it didn't really function very well, but now it functions very nice. This class also has its own up jump. So the nice thing with this up jump is that you can up jump and then you can flash jump out of that up jump as well. It's pretty much the same as warriors right now, or at least as heroes, which is really nice for in-game bossing and just being able to be versatile in bosses. This class also has its own dash. It's kind of short, to be honest. It's not the best dash in the world, but I would say it's about your average dash from a class. But that's not all that this class has. It does have its own pseudo teleport skill. Now, this is a skill that functions exactly like a Salter. If you know what a Salter is, it is Shadower's main movement skill. But the only caveat with this skill is that you only get 5 charges. Now, when you use your first charge, as you can see down here on my hotbar, I have 5 stacks right now. The moment that I use my first stack, I'm going to have a whole minute until these charges come back. And these extra charges will not stack on top of each other. If I have 4 and that cooldown goes to 0, I'm just going to get 5 back in the bank. But let's just say I exhaust all of my charges right away and I'm in a bad bossing situation in a boss. I'm gonna have to wait that entire minute or however long I have on the cooldown on Path of Fion until I get more charges back. So that can be somewhat of a negative of this class's movement, is that you do have to be very careful with how the charges work because you do not have unlimited of them. The nice thing again is that this is a TP skill, so you can TP through certain things. For example, like Kalos' UFO, Rollings in Black Mage, or the white falling debris in Black Mage. You can teleport through all of these attacks, which is really nice, but you do have to keep an eye on this cooldown. So make sure that you do put it somewhere on your hotkeys if you are going to be using this skill, because you do need to be mindful of how you use it. The other thing to note with that teleport skill is that it is omnidirectional. You can go diagonally, right, left, up, down, diagonally, down, right and left, and horizontally as well. So now that we've gone over all the actual practical things while bossing, the movement, the mobbing, and pretty much how this class functionally works, let's talk about one thing that a lot of people might have a bit of confusion on, and that is going to be the Erel link. Now, I'm going to link in the description down below the best pathway to upgrade your Hexa on this class, and this is just from what people have tested over the recent 3 weeks. Let's get into the actual Erel link and how it functionally works. In order to upgrade any skill, you need it to be in this highlighted area. Now, unfortunately, this UI you cannot zoom in on or zoom out on. It's actually really annoying that you can't. But for example, if I just started this Hexa and I wanted to upgrade Destruction of Roan, I couldn't just go and upgrade Destruction of Roan. What I would have to do is I would have to upgrade Soul Hecate, then I would have to upgrade this buff duration link, then I would have to upgrade this buff duration link, and then I would be able to upgrade Destruction of Roan. And then for some of these other boost skills over here, like these red boost skills, like the boss damage and the strength, the way that it works is you can't just go and upgrade these either. You have to go and make sure that this area is highlighted. And in order to get that area to be highlighted, the same example as before, I would need to upgrade Soul Hecate, and then that highlighted area would be right here. And then I would have to upgrade this buff duration skill in order to have this horizontal highlighted area be up here. And then what I would have to do is I would have to go to the right side, upgrade this boost node, and then this boost node here, and then it would give me a highlighted area here, which would then allow me to unlock and upgrade this boss damage node. It's a bit confusing, but you do get the hang of it. It's just very awkward to use, but essentially you have to upgrade all the link skills together in order to expand this highlighted area, which will then give you the option and ability to upgrade other boosts around this Erel link's Hexa. And then as well as the main Erel link, you're also going to have this system down here, which are going to be your shine stones. And essentially these are going to function as other classes Hexa stat. And the way that they work is they're going to have certain requirements to actually unlock each of these shine stones. It doesn't show it right here right now, but if you were to not have these unlocked, it would have certain requirements like shine stone 1 and 2 at level 10 and also being level 280. There's also going to be percent rate for each level. So for example, to go from level 1 to level 10, every single chance is going to cost you Erta as well as Miso, and it's going to be a 50% chance of success rate up until level 10. And then once you get to level 10, it is going to have a 30% chance to go from 10 to 11, and then to go from 11 to 12, it is going to be a 25% success chance. But the other caveat is going to be it has a 2.1% chance to send it back down to level 10. So there is a risk once you get past level 11, you can boom and go back to level 10, and this can be a bit pricey, but this is all shown in the link of how to effectively upgrade your Hexa stat. But just to go over these shine stones and how they work, they're very simple. So that's pretty much a quick TLDR on how this works. And again, I'll link the actual upgrading path to Earl in the description below if you guys want to go off of that. So that is going to pretty much wrap up everything that you need to know about the brand new Erel class and how it functions, how it plays, how difficult it is, the burst on this class, the movement overall. And if this video did help you guys out and did make things a little bit less confusing for you, definitely leave a like on the video and then let us know in the comment section down below. And let us know in the comment section down below if you guys are going to be making the brand new Shine Class Earl in the future. I would definitely love to know. But as always, that is going to wrap up the video for today, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Take it easy. Peace.